In this video, we're going to talk about how crew leaders and foremen in the field can really look for and create flow. So you're going to love this content. Please stay with us. So when you go out in the field, what do you look for? When do you look for it? And who do you report it to? We're going to talk about all of these concepts right now. So first and foremost, like I've said in other videos, and please like and subscribe to the channel so that you can get the other videos, because I know you're going to want the content. Everything we do is to work in what's called one process flow. So that means in construction, instead of going into a large area like this 40,000 square foot area and just doing work wherever we can, we break it up into zones, right? And each of these zones, you have a schedule to be there and work to complete within that time. And so you go from area to area doing zone by zone in what's called one piece or one process flow, which means that, for instance, before you do this zone right here, you'll plan the work with your crew, you'll build it right while you're there, and you'll finish and demobilize, inspect, and complete the work before you move on to the next zone. That's called one process flow. And that is the single most important concept in lean construction. And so what I want you to be able to do is analyze, are you able to work in one process flow, yes or no? So if you have a project that's scheduled with takt planning and you have it by zone, the things that you will want to know to make sure that you are flowing are these concepts I'm about to explain to you. Number one, can you see the plan on one page? Meaning that if you took your crew and everybody on the project site for that matter, can they see the plan together so that everyone can see as a group, know as a group, and act as a group, yes or no? If the answer is no, it's very difficult to flow because people don't even know where they should flow. Second, when you're thinking about flow, when you're walking the field, you need to make sure that if you're running in this direction and going 1, 2, 3, 4, that all of the trades in your train of trades, all of your successor crews and the people out in front of you, your predecessors, are working in that same direction as well. That's concept number 2. Concept number 3 that I want to talk about is that the trades going through these zones, let's say that's trade partner number 1, this is trade partner number 2, let's say that's you right here, trade partner number 3 right here. Not only are you in the same sequence, but you have a similar amount of work to do for each of these crews, meaning that your crew counts are leveled so that you can run through zones that are leveled, which is concept number 5, and do a similar amount of work. Here's how I can explain this a little better. You will never go any faster than your slowest zone. So let's say, for instance, that this right here was your slowest and most complex zone. If you don't make that smaller and more even with the other zones, this will be the pace of your job. Let's say that contractor number 2, this crew, you, take longer, and you should really split up into 2 crews, but you didn't. Your project will never go faster than that slowest crew. So leveling these to have a similar amount of work, leveling these to where they have a similar amount of value they're adding is crucial to flow. And that's concept number 4 and 5. Number 6 is that all of the trades that are going through this must be going the same speed. So the speed or the takt time at which they're going through those zones must be consistent. So crew number 1 going at the same speed, crew number 2 going at the same speed, crew number 3 going at the same speed. So you must watch that in order to enable flow. The other thing is, if your crew is working through this zone is about halfway through, hopefully the crew behind you is about halfway through, hopefully the crew ahead of you is about halfway through. So you want to be going the same speed and the same distance apart when you're out looking at this in the field. So here are the main concepts. Let me go through them again. Number 1, you want to be able to see the plan on one page. In order to flow, you all must know together how to flow. Number 2, You must make sure that you are going in the same direction and that you're in the same sequence. Those are concepts number 2 and 3. Concept number 4 is that you must make sure that you're adding the same amount of value through the same amount of work in your zones. Those are concepts number 4 and 5. Number 6, going the same speed like we talked about. Concept number 7, the same distance apart from each other so that you're really flowing. So if you as a trade partner, as a foreman, when you're doing your walks, if you see a problem with people's understanding of the plan, if you see we're not all going the same direction, you see we're not in the same sequence, if you see a slowest trade, if you see a slowest zone, if you see not everyone's going the same speed, if you see that we are not the same distance apart within those zones, those are all triggers to say, hey, there's probably a problem here. So I hope that's understandable and you can use that in the field. Take notes, again, on your schedule and according to your zone maps if you see any of those circumstances. The other thing is, when you're out doing your work, I want you to ask, hey, if I'm going into this next zone, do I have the labor? Do I have the materials? Do I have the permissions? Do I have the tools? Do I have the equipment? Do I have the information? Do I have the layout, right? Do I have the right expectations? Do I have all of these things? That's what we're looking for. You as a crew leader or a foreman are not just paying attention to the moment. You're always looking at these flow principles, and you're always looking at, do we have everything we need for the next zone in one process flow? And if you don't, it's key to say, hey, hey, got enough labor, materials are good, permissions are good, tools are good, equipment's good, right? Oh, I don't have that RFI response for this one key room. Layout's good, expectations are good. Now that you know there's a problem right here, guess what? That becomes a roadblock. That now should get fanatically tracked in your systems, on your checklist, or on your visual maps, and fanatically be attended to and removed before your crew gets done and hits that spot so that you don't have to slow down or stop and then restart. And lastly, what I want to say as a part of this system, and again, if you're using these weekly work plans and these zone maps like I'm asking you to, report this in the afternoon foreman huddle every day and say, here are the problems, here are the handoffs, here are the roadblocks, here's the preparation, and here's what I'm seeing. And oh, by the way, I'm seeing some problems with our flow principles. If we start looking at this, we'll create so much flow and make so much money, we're going to make all your competitors look bad. So these are the things that you should implement and look for in the field. And I want to close out by giving you a little bit of encouragement. You're smart, you're capable, and you are key to this project. You can do this. You can see these things. As long as you have a takt plan, as long as you have zones, and as long as there's a commitment to have huddles daily, you can fit into this system. And if the GC isn't naturally doing it, ask for it, because this is how builders build. You are remarkable, you can do it, and you deserve the ability to stop wasting time talking about when things are going to happen. You already know that. You can talk about what you need, what are the handoffs, what are the roadblocks, and how we're going to make it happen so that you win, your company wins, and the job site wins. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've got outlines and guides and resources in the description below. Please like and subscribe to the channel. On we go.